Today we're going to delve into 9 habits that destroy your confidence. Do you ever feel like you're your own worst enemy when it comes to confidence? We all have those moments where we doubt ourselves, where our inner critic whispers discouraging words in our ear. But what if I told you that the power to change this lies within you? Confidence is not just a trait, it's a mindset, a lifestyle. And just like any other aspect of your life, it can be influenced by certain habits. Unfortunately, some of these habits are destructive, chipping away at our self-esteem and personal development without us even realizing it. From negative self-talk to constantly seeking approval, these habits are more common than you might think. But don't worry, we're not just going to identify them, we're also going to provide you with actionable steps to overcome them. Stay tuned to discover these habits and how to overcome them. First up, the habit of negative self-talk. Imagine a radio playing in your head, constantly churning out a stream of commentary. Now imagine that commentary is relentlessly negative, undermining every move you make. That's what negative self-talk is like, a persistent critic dwelling inside your own mind. Often, we're our own harshest judges. We tell ourselves things we would never say to someone else. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Everyone else is better than me. These are just a few examples of the damaging dialogues we have with ourselves. Negative self-talk is more than just a bad habit, it's a confidence crusher. It's like pouring acid on your self-esteem, slowly eroding it away. Every time you tell yourself you can't, you believe it a little more. Every time you say you're not good enough, a piece of your confidence crumbles. But here's the thing about negative self-talk, it's not based on truth. It's based on fear, insecurity, and past experiences that don't define who you are or what you're capable of. So how do you break this habit? Start by becoming aware of it. Notice when you're being hard on yourself, then challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it just my fear talking? Remember, the way you talk to yourself matters. You wouldn't let someone else talk to you that way. So why let that voice inside your head? Next, the habit of constantly comparing yourself to others. It's a trap that's all too easy to fall into, especially in our digital age, where the success of others is often on full display. But here's the truth. Comparison is a confidence killer. Imagine you're a bird soaring through the sky, feeling the wind beneath your wings, but instead of relishing in the freedom of flight, you're too busy looking at the eagle next to you, thinking, why can't I fly as high? You're not an eagle. You're a bird with your own unique strengths and beauty. When we compare ourselves to others, we're not seeing the full picture. We're comparing our behind the scenes with their highlight reel. It's like comparing apples to oranges. It just doesn't work. Comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and even depression. It sabotages our self-esteem, making us feel as though we're never good enough, no matter how hard we try. We become so focused on trying to measure up to others that we lose sight of our own worth and accomplishments. So how can we combat this destructive habit? It starts with understanding that everyone's journey is different. You're not running the same race as anyone else. You're on your own path with your own set of challenges and victories. Remember, your worth is not determined by how you stack up against others. Celebrate your own achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Your journey is unique. Don't compare it to others. Before we continue, if you're finding this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. It's a small click for you, but a huge help for us. Moving on, the third habit is avoiding challenges. In life, challenges are as inevitable as the rising and setting of the sun. However, some of us develop a habit of shying away from these challenges, choosing the path of least resistance. This habit, while providing temporary comfort, can be an absolute destroyer of confidence. Here's why. Imagine a mountain climber who only climbs hills. Sure, they'll reach the top every time, but will they ever really know their true capabilities? Will they ever experience the thrill of overcoming a formidable challenge? The answer is no. Similarly, when we consistently avoid challenges, we rob ourselves of opportunities to grow, to test our limits, and to build resilience. We create a comfort zone, a bubble, if you will, that keeps us from experiencing the full spectrum of life. Let's take an example. Suppose you're given a challenging project at work. You can either tackle it head-on, learning new skills, overcoming obstacles, and potentially making a significant contribution to your team. Or you can pass it on to a colleague, staying within your comfort zone. The latter option might seem easier, but in the long run, it doesn't do you any favors. By avoiding the challenge, you miss out on a chance to prove to yourself and others that you're capable of more than you thought possible. Remember, confidence comes from doing, from trying and failing, and then trying again. It comes from facing challenges head-on and emerging stronger on the other side. Embrace challenges, they are opportunities for growth. Fourth on our list is procrastination. This habit is a sneaky one. It creeps up on you, disguised as a harmless delay, a momentary pause, or a well-deserved break. But before you know it, it's taken over your day, your week, and even your month. Imagine you're about to start a new project. You're excited, energized, and full of ideas, but instead of diving right in, you decide to wait until the perfect moment. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, or maybe the day after, but days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months. And the project? It remains untouched, gathering dust in the corner of your mind. Procrastination doesn't just rob you of your time, it also chips away at your confidence. Each time you delay a task, you're sending a message to your subconscious that you're not capable or not ready. And over time, this message becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the good news. You can break free from the chains of procrastination. Start by setting small, manageable goals. Celebrate your progress no matter how small. And most importantly, remind yourself that the perfect moment doesn't exist. The best time to start is always now. Remember, overcoming procrastination is not about being perfect. It's about taking action one step at a time, because action breeds confidence. And confidence in turn fuels further action. Procrastination is the thief of time and confidence. The fifth habit is focusing on the negative. This is a habit that can chip away at your confidence, bit by bit each day. Imagine you're a sculptor, and your confidence is a grand, beautiful statue you've been working on. Every time you dwell on a negative thought, it's like taking a chisel to your work of art, slowly eroding it. Picture this. You've given a presentation at work. It was well received overall, but there was one point where you stuttered, lost your train of thought. Instead of celebrating your success, you focus on that one small error. You replay it over and over in your mind, magnifying it out of proportion. This is the trap of focusing on the negative. It's like wearing blinkers that block out all the good around us, only letting in the bad. The problem with this habit is that it feeds on itself. The more we focus on the negative, the more negative things seem to happen. It's a vicious cycle. What's the remedy? It's simple but not easy. We have to consciously shift our focus to the positive. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small. When you make a mistake, don't dwell on it. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Remember, our brains are like gardens. If we water the weeds, they'll overgrow and choke out the flowers. But if we water the flowers, they'll bloom and thrive. Focus on the positive. It will boost your confidence. Next up, the habit of overthinking. It's a bit like a hamster on a wheel, isn't it? Your mind spinning in endless circles, churning out what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. But here's the thing. Overthinking doesn't just stress you out. It can also seriously dent your confidence. Think about it. When you're caught up in a whirlwind of thoughts, you're essentially doubting your ability to make decisions. You're second-guessing yourself, questioning your judgment. It's a slippery slope from there to believing you're incapable of handling life's challenges. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're about to give a presentation. You've prepared well, you know your material. But instead of focusing on delivering your message, your mind starts to race. What if I forget my lines? What if they don't like my ideas? What if I make a fool of myself? The more you overthink, the more your confidence dwindles. Now here's the kicker. Overthinking often leads to inaction. You become so caught up in your thoughts that you end up doing nothing at all. It's like being stuck in a traffic jam inside your own head. Remember, confidence comes from taking action, from stepping out of your comfort zone and taking risks. Overthinking, on the other hand, keeps you firmly rooted in the realm of what if, never venturing into the world of let's do this. Overthinking leads to paralysis, not progress. The seventh habit is not prioritizing self-care. This habit is a silent confidence killer. It's like a termite that slowly and subtly gnaws at the foundation of your self-esteem. Think about it. When you're physically drained, emotionally exhausted and mentally spent, how can you possibly muster the strength to stand tall and radiate confidence? You can't. It's like trying to run a marathon with a sprained ankle. It's just not going to work. Imagine a scenario where you're constantly burning the midnight oil, skipping meals and depriving yourself of much-needed rest. Over time, this neglect takes a toll on your health, your mood, and your overall well-being. And when you're feeling low and worn out, it becomes incredibly challenging to maintain a positive and confident outlook. Self-care is not about indulging in excessive luxury or being self-centered. It's about acknowledging your needs and treating yourself with kindness and respect. It's about nurturing your body, mind, and spirit through healthy eating, regular exercise, adequate rest, and positive mental practices. Remember, a well-maintained car runs smoother and lasts longer. Similarly, when you take care of yourself, you function better and your confidence naturally shines through. You can't pour from an empty cup, so don't neglect your needs in the pursuit of other goals. Self-care is not selfish, it's essential for confidence. So make it a priority to take care of yourself because you matter. Your confidence matters. 8th on the list is not learning from failures. We've all been there. A misstep, an error, a blunder. It's part of being human, but the real blunder is when we fail to seize these moments as opportunities for growth. Imagine a child learning to walk. With every stumble, every fall, they pick themselves up and try again. Each failure is a stepping stone towards success. And that's the essence of learning from failures, turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. When we don't learn from our failures, we tend to repeat them. It's like walking into the same wall over and over again, expecting a different result. It's not just frustrating, it's undermining our confidence. We start doubting our abilities, our worthiness, and before we know it, we're trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and hesitation. Now let's consider a different scenario. You've made a mistake. Instead of burying it, you examine it. You ask, what can I learn from this? You take note of what went wrong and how you can avoid it in the future. You take this knowledge and apply it to your next attempt. This time, you're better prepared, more informed. You're not just hoping for the best, you're equipped for it. This is the power of learning from failures. It's about transforming disappointment into wisdom, mistakes into lessons. It's about understanding that failure is not a dead end, but a detour to a better route. Failure is not the end, it's a lesson. Remember, the only real failure is the failure to learn from failure. Last but not least, the habit of seeking constant approval. Imagine living your life like a pendulum, swinging back and forth depending on the opinions of others. That's what happens when you're always seeking approval. Your self-worth becomes a variable, dependent on external validation. This habit can severely cripple your confidence. Imagine a scenario where you're afraid to voice your opinion in a meeting because you're worried about what others might think. Or consider a time when you've changed your outfit multiple times, anxious about what others might say. These are examples of how the need for approval can dictate your actions and undermine your confidence. This habit stems from a deep-rooted fear of rejection. It's a survival instinct that dates back to our cave-dwelling ancestors, where being part of a group was essential for survival. But in today's world, this fear often does more harm than good. The antidote? Start by recognizing that you're enough, just as you are. Understand that it's okay to have a differing opinion. It's okay not to please everyone. It's okay to be you. Gradually start to shift your focus inward. Seek self-approval. Ask yourself, am I proud of what I'm doing? Am I staying true to my values? Remember, it's your life. You're the one living it, not them. In the grand scheme of things, while it's nice to be appreciated and acknowledged, approval from others is not a necessity for your happiness or success. Approval is a nice to have, not a must have. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It requires commitment and patience. By countering these habits, you're well on your way to bolstering your confidence. Confidence is more than just a feeling. It's a state of mind that can propel you towards success in all areas of your life. It's the fuel that drives your journey to personal growth and fulfillment. So take a step today towards a more confident you. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell to be notified when we release new videos. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.